Hi guys, welcome back to Day's Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing a movie that was just released not too long ago called The Belko Experiment. This movie is written by James Gunn, who I have loved pretty much all of his work, going as far back as his days with Lloyd Kaufman's Trauma team, all the way up till his Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He's never failed to disappoint me. So I always feel secure when I'm going in to see one of his movies that it should be a good ride. Although he wrote this one, he didn't direct it. The Belko Experiment was directed by Greg McLean, who is well known within the horror community. He directed the Wolf Creek movies. He's currently working on Wolf Creek 3. He also directed the Wolf Creek television series, which was, in my opinion, even better than the movies. And they're also working on a second season of that, so I'm very excited for that. You also know his work. If you're a regular horror movie watcher, he also directed Rogue, that movie about the big alligator, and he also directed The Darkness, which starred Kevin Bacon and that kid from Gotham who plays Bruce Wayne. He was a little bit smaller in that movie, but he was also in that movie. As far as the Belko Experiment, this movie stars John Gallagher Jr. as Mike Milch, Tony Baldwin as Barry Norris, Adria Arjona as Leandra Flores, and John C. McGinley as Wendell Dukes. The movie also has other actors who are very familiar to those who watch James Gunn's movies, whether he writes them or directs them or whatever. But Michael Rooker is in this movie, and he also has his brother Sean Gunn, who plays Marty in the movie. And Marty is kind of the I guess he's the comedic relief for this movie, because it does get very serious in places, and he's sort of the doper, the marijuana junkie, and he has a lot of these wacko moments that kind of brings the comic relief in that is usually needed in a movie like this one. So what's the movie like? Well, the movie, it starts off with a brand new employee at Belko Industries, which is a non-profit company that's working out of Bogota, Colombia. It's a new employee, Danny, who's played by Melanie Diaz, and she's arriving for her first day on the job, and she's stuck in traffic going to the building, and Mike Milch, he's also stuck in traffic, and he notices in his rearview mirror that some of the workers are being turned away. And he's wondering why, and but regardless, he goes in and he starts his day, and we follow Danny as she's going through her orientation as being the new employee and what to expect. And she is told that every American employee who works at Belko Industries gets a tracking device implanted in the base of their skull, because Colombia is such a dangerous place with drug gangs and kidnappers, that they need to be able to quickly track any American employees should they happen to get taken. So so she's sort of vetted into this very strange business climate, and we find out from that point that the Belko Industries is really not your standard workplace. It's supposed to be run by the government, so there's a lot of security issues with the building to help protect it from, say, attacks from these, drug runners and the gangs and all that stuff. But so once she gets through her orientation, not too long afterwards, the building goes into lockdown, and it has these impenetrable metal panels that arise up, and they just lock into place, all the way up to the top of the building. So nobody can get in, and nobody can get out, and so people start freaking out, and they're wondering what's going on, and a voice comes over the intercom, and it says for everybody to collect in the lobby. So everybody goes down there in the lobby, and then the voice says there's no way out, basically, and that they must kill 2 people within 30 minutes, and the rest would be spared, at least until whatever happens next. But then, the group of people, they start. There's the side that says, okay, well, look, let's just pick 2 people and save everybody else, and there's the other ones that say, look, that's not humane. We can't do that. That's not what we're supposed to do. That's just not right. And then there's also the belief that, wait a minute, this is all just a hoax. This is just a joke that they're playing on us. And 30 minutes goes by, and no one has yet been killed. So suddenly, just a random guy in the crowd, his head explodes. Boom! And it totally freaks everybody out. Everybody starts screaming, running, as it would. And next thing you know, another guy over here, bang, his head blows up. And then over there, a woman, kapow, her head blows up. And it's very quickly surmised that the little tracking implant that was put into the base of everybody's skull is actually an explosive device that whoever is speaking over the intercom can remotely detonate. And so this really, sends the place into a frenzy. And so then you have the people who are left. I think it went from 80 down to 30 within that quick span, or maybe it was a little bit more. I can't remember right now, but the number was cut drastically after that initial random explosions. And this is how the story goes. The voice continually comes over and says, look, we need so many more people to die within so much amount of time. These people die or more people die, and it gets into a point. Again, you have a faction that says, look, let's just kill everybody we can so we can live, and there's the other faction that says, no, we're not going to give in to this whatever's going on, and we must stick together. And that forms the basis of the rest of the movie, which is basically a sort of a cat and mouse game where people are hunting each other and people are killing each other, and you're wondering who's going to live and who's going to die. And I'm not going to say what actually happens in the movie, as far as who lives and who dies, but the ending of the movie, it does leave it open for a sequel. Being that the Belko Experiment only cost $5 million to make, and is made by Blumhouse, who typically creates these horror franchises that they like to just keep milking and milking and milking. Odds are very good that Belko Experiment will have a second installment, because I can't see the movie not recouping its $5 million. So, did I like this movie? I love horror movies, and in a lot of ways, I didn't find this a horror movie. It was okay. It seems like I'm saying that a lot lately, doesn't it? It's okay, but I didn't love it. I watched it. I sat through it. I didn't fall asleep, so that was pretty good. There were a couple, maybe 1 or 2 surprise kills, but other than that, you knew who was going to die, and when you get into these movies, you know who's going to live and who's going to die. There's never a surprise. The movie is even as violent as the movie might sound. I don't know. I just didn't. I expected it to be more violent. If that's possible, I don't know. Maybe most people will probably find it squeamish, and a lot of people will find it overly violent. But the basic premise of this movie was, it's called the Belko Experiment, and that's basically what it was. It was an experiment to see how different humans, would react in this type of a stressful environment. Who would be the ones that crack? Who are going to be the ones that keep it together? And who's going to survive this terrible event? And so that's what it winds up being. I have a hard time to say whether I liked or disliked this movie. There were things that I liked about it, and there were things that I really didn't care for in this movie. And it makes me sad to say that, because I really like Greg McLean's work, and I really like James Gunn. And I don't know, just something about it. I don't know. I don't know if I can really put my finger on it. Maybe it was the main character, Mike Milch. Maybe something. He didn't. I didn't like him very much. But and then there's Tony Baldwin, who, let's be frank, Tony Baldwin, he has bad guy written on, tattooed on his forehead. I've never seen Tony Baldwin play a good guy. Come on, let's mix it up a little bit, huh? And John C. McGinley, he always plays a crazy guy, Although I do love him in Stand Against Evil. Yeah, he's really good in that show. But so there were some people, there were some instances where it was a little bit predictable. But these days it's hard to make an original movie, and it seems like I'm ranting, and I am. So let's just end it here. Why not we, huh? So the Belko Experiment, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. Again, like I've been saying a lot lately, it was okay, but I didn't love it. Will I watch it again? No. There's no value in rewatching this movie. There's nothing to dissect with this movie. Everything is pretty much laid out for you in layman's terms. So there's no secrets here. You just watch it and you move on to the next one. If you have a Saturday afternoon and you have nothing to do, the grass is already mowed, and the laundry's folded and put away, and you're just going to lay down on the couch and take a nap. Well, if you don't want to take a nap, watch the Belko Experiment. Go ahead. Maybe you'll like it. And so that's it. What can I say? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up down below. And if you're new here, welcome. And why not subscribe while you're here? Stay up with all of my latest reviews. And so that's it for today. Stop back again, and I'll have another review. Bye.